What's up, Taiwan? Good morning. I'm Joey Chow with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan is considering relaxing strict border restrictions for business travelers. The news came Monday as the nation reported just 4 new domestic cases of COVID-19 and 50 imported ones. People who meet the requirements for a business visa would be allowed entry. Officials hope it can attract more economic opportunities. They're also considering shortening quarantine periods from 14 to 10 days for all people coming to Taiwan.
好，那放宽的方向就跟大家讲，这缩短我们检疫的天数为10天，加上7天的自主健康管理。然后第二个我们要从这个全部都是在这种集中式的防疫旅馆或集中检疫所的，转换成开放1人1户和防疫旅馆，均可以作为居家检疫之处所的选择。
Health Minister Chen Shizhong says Taiwan may reduce the quarantine period for all travelers to 10 days once at least 50% of the population gets the booster shot, which he says could happen as soon as mid-March. Taipei City is also relaxing COVID restrictions. That's with few new cases reported in the city in recent weeks. Starting on Tuesday, movie theaters in the capital will allow eating and drinking once again. High schools and middle schools can once again hold graduation trips, but students and teachers will need to be fully vaccinated or test negative for COVID-19. Several social services for elderly citizens will also resume. Taiwan is closely watching the events unfolding in Ukraine as tensions with Russia continue to escalate. Our reporter James Chater spoke to Lai Yizhong, the president of Prospect Foundation, a Taipei-based foreign policy think tank. Like Ukraine, Taiwan also has a threatening authoritarian neighbor. He explains why comparisons are being made and how a conflict in Eastern Europe could affect Taiwan.
Both of them also face the issue about the China always deny Taiwan's international existence, believe Taiwan is a part of China, and even claim to absorb Taiwan through force if necessary. And the Russia, the Ukraine relation, despite Ukraine being an independent sovereign state, but if you look at Putin, the Russian leaders, he continues to deny the historical rights about Ukraine being independent.
And there are some saying that China could use this period of time whilst the US is, some say, distracted in engagement with Ukraine, whilst the EU is engaged, whilst NATO is engaged, and that this would give China space and time to, if not invade Taiwan, but at least increase military or diplomatic pressure on Taiwan. Do you think this is a viable possibility?
If this crisis is not going to be resolved in the short term and started to become a long-term phenomenon, which means that the kind of distractions are factor about the U.S. commitment to the East Asia and also the U.S. Indo-Pacific strategy, that could also be a longer-term phenomenon. And that definitely could, in some spectators' eyes, could embolden or encourage China try to do something when the United States is distracted.
And there's been some recent reporting showing that Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen has set up a task force to specifically study the conflict in Ukraine. What do you think the Taiwanese government will be looking at in this task force, and what do you think they'll be hoping to learn from the conflict?
It's actually about the Russia-China emerging axis, how the Russia becomes a factor in the security regarding Taiwan. And in the past, when we talk about the Taiwan security calculus, Russia has never been a factor. Although we do not think that Russia will send troops to help China to attack Taiwan, but what if Russia is doing something to complicate the international assistance to Taiwan, for example, to complicate U.S., Japan? Yeah, so those are the things that the people, at least I'm concerned about.
Around 50 transnational same-sex couples braved the rain in Taipei on Monday, Valentine's Day, calling for the right to marry. Taiwan made history in 2019 by becoming the first country in Asia to legalize same-sex marriage. But there was a catch. Only foreign nationals from countries where same-sex marriage is legal can tie the knot. That's left many people behind. Couples tied yellow ribbons on the railings outside the cabinet building, showing their names and their nationalities. The cabinet says it's working to amend the rules to allow marriages for all, but protesters say progress has been too slow. No concrete steps have been taken since a draft bill was introduced to the cabinet more than a year ago. Would you pay more than $8 for a single Valentine's Day's rose? Well, that's how much it cost many people in Taiwan who wanted to express their love with a traditional Valentine's gift this year. But as Ken Ning reports, it didn't stop romance from blooming.
Shop staff busy themselves wrapping up individual flowers for Valentine's Day rush.
今年的情人节，因为没有在大年初几的情况之下，销量明显的跟去年比，大概都有30%以上的成长。
And despite the thorny issue of rising prices, flowers still remain popular for those planning to celebrate romance on February 14th. The coronavirus pandemic has brought higher international transport costs, taking the price of a single imported rose to almost 230 Taiwan dollars. That's over $8 and $1 more than they cost last year. But for those whose budgets may not stretch to a bouquet, florists are recommending Texas bluebells and preserved flowers as a substitute at half the price.
就是象征永恒的爱，这样它不会凋谢，所以它也持续在这2年有很明显的成长，所以它未来应该也有机会跟这个新鲜的花礼就是分庭抗礼。
And as Shakespeare says, if a rose by any other name would smell as sweet, how about rose apples? Florists say they have already proven a big hit with local customers.
实在是非常的热络，很短的时间就销出了将近100盒。
Proving that romance is very much in the air this Valentine's Day. Asnaya Zhou and Ken Ning for TaiwanPlus.
The Taiwan Lantern Festival is back in the southern city of Kaohsiung this year, 20 years after the last time it hosted the event. As Peachy Chuan reports, the festival doesn't officially get underway until Tuesday, but that didn't stop hundreds of visitors from crowding into the festival arena this past weekend to catch a glimpse of final preparations.
A test run ahead of the main event. Crowds in Kaohsiung get a sneak peek at the Lantern Festival's star attraction. Titled Phoenix Dancing, the lantern takes the shape of a Mikado pheasant, a species endemic to Taiwan.
震撼啊！因为高雄已经很久没有办了，激动啦！高兴都激动啦！
Another lantern takes the form of a dragon and tiger. The dragon is leaping out of the ocean, reflecting Kaohsiung's role as a port city. The festival is spread over 10 hectares and makes use of the latest technology to put on a memorable show. This includes a display featuring 1,500 drones, the biggest of its kind yet seen in Taiwan. Moving in perfect harmony, the drones from 3D animations featuring some of the country's most iconic symbols. But perhaps the biggest hit among visitors is something much smaller in scale. Individual tiger tail lanterns celebrating the new year of the tiger.
大家就是都在抢，然后预购平台又预购不到，感觉怎么样？
很可爱。Many people queued for hours to get their own tiger tail, costing about $18 for two. Over 1,000 have been sold so far. The Taiwan Lantern Festival is set to run through the end of February. Chris Ma and Peachy Zhuang for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with some images of this year's Pingxi Sky Lantern Festival. I've been Joey Chow. Have a great day, and I'll catch you on the flip side.